internet. I am Insanely as well as a Canadian girl, and today we have Karen evicted from hotel from body cam fails.
Police were called to a hotel on December 16th for a woman being disorderly.
Okay, so what's going on?
Okay, I was gonna say that's nicely big. I really do feel bad for officers when that is all they get, and it's like a super vague description of what is going on, and then they get there and they're like this. Somebody just runs up and starts shouting and trying to explain, but they're in the middle of the story already. Yeah. Or they, get told that a call is one thing, show up and it's a completely different thing.
Excuse
Okay,
me.
first off,
911.
Okay.
911.
calm down. Calm
I
down.
can't tell him because he is not respecting me.
Okay. Well, I can't help you
Okay.
if you're
Okay,
acting
can
this
you
way.
go tell her?
Yeah, we'll talk to her.
Tell her I need some respect because
Okay,
I
hold
live
on,
here.
hold What's going on?
Okay, I am a guest at this
Okay.
hotel.
Okay.
I paid with a credit card. Okay? I was told I was safe here. My husband is in law enforcement.
Okay.
He does not know I'm here. I am planning a wedding.
Okay.
Have you planned a wedding?
I have.
Okay, when she said her husband's in law enforcement, he doesn't know she's here. My brain went is she fleeing domestic violence? Is that why she's staying at a hotel and he doesn't know she's here? But now she's saying, I'm planning a wedding. Is she a wedding planner?
Stressful.
It
Here's
is.
what I'm also doing.
What else are
I
you
love
doing?
caffeine.
Okay.
Is that a good idea? It is not.
I'm off
I'm sorry.
caffeine.
I'm a little stressed out. That I don't know who she is. She thinks that she's going to kick me out, and I'm
Okay, well, keep explaining to us what's going on.
okay. I'm
Is
trying to
this
get to my
yours?
room. No, it's hers.
Okay, well, let's get that
Okay.
back to her so we don't create any more.
Yeah, is that okay? I thought that was a binder she was holding. It's one of those plastic signs from the front desk. Why did you take that? I don't think this woman is a Karen. I think something else is going on here. This is blind, 100% blind.
information that I can
Yeah.
just grab, but this is mine. I just needed that
Okay.
piece that goes poof.
Okay, why do you
Android.
suspect that she has your cord?
I don't. She doesn't have it, but she thinks that she can get it. I'm like, do you have a business center? She goes, you're not welcome here. I said,
Okay,
Really?
explain to me. So,
okay, can we just go talk to her?
hey, no, stop. Stop.
I don't want to.
You on it?
I don't want to. I don't want to.
Okay, why is his patch being blurred? Like the band, I understand because that's probably the hotel band. It probably has their phone number and stuff on the side. But why is his shoulder patch? Why is that being blurred?
What's 911 mean to you?
We're trying to figure out
Or her face?
why are you asking her for your power cord for your
Because
computer?
I need to. I locked down my room.
Okay, what room are you at?
211.
211. Okay.
And you know 911? It's not a joke. Were you there? I was. We were scooping up. Were you there?
Oh,
No.
Go back inside that building right now, okay? I'm trying to help you out right now. I'm telling you to go back inside that building. 6
Patrol
seconds.
man? Oh,
Okay.
You're a patrol man? Ooh.
Stop.
Ma'am,
Stop.
go back in
Stop.
that building. I will take your shit.
Okay,
Stop.
you know what?
Stop.
You called me ma'am. I will be nice.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay. You know
Calm
what?
down. Do you have an ID on you?
Help me out.
Oh, okay.
Do you have an
I'm
ID?
sorry. I do not. My social security number. Can I tell it to you?
Okay.
How long have you been here?
All right, just hang tight, okay?
Here, let's walk over here.
Edward, come back to Lisa. I don't know. Invalid. No one.
3963 radio. Does she do all?
She's got it.
oh.
All right. We're trying to talk to her. She's being absolutely ridiculous.
And she's obviously evicted from the hotel, so.
Yeah. She's in room 211. How long has she been here for?
Yesterday.
She's been here with anybody else or by herself? Or...
First time I encountered her.
Okay, so she checked in yesterday. She clearly did a demo job on the front desk. I'm starting to get the impression this may be somebody with mental health problems who is either over or under medicated. Because yeah, she's not being ridiculous. I don't like that interpretation. She's obviously very high strung, and I don't mean in the too much espresso way. But yeah, this is striking me as some kind of emotional imbalance, which can make people very amped up and animated like she is. She is making sense if you know how to follow. But she's also kind of all over the place. You know, I'm saying she's not being irrational or delusional or anything like that. Obviously there was a confrontation and now she's been evicted from the hotel. They do need to let her get her stuff though, if she has anything like else in the room, which I assume she does. It's a hotel. I assume she came here with a bag or luggage or something. But not sure how the police are gonna handle this. Because ideally it should be just like I'm not sure I would let her in the hotel, honestly, because I wouldn't be so sure of how she would act, but she needs her stuff, so I would either ask the hotel staff or ask this woman as an officer, can I have permission to get your things and bring them out to you? Because the issue is if they leave her stuff here, she's going to come back to get her stuff. And then there's going to be another problem because the hotel, I have no doubt, in addition to evicting her, is going to want her trespassed. But she's going to come back to get her stuff like anybody would. So it's better if they can find a way for her to get her things and take them now and then just be done with it. She has no reason to come back here. So if she does, then it is clearly violating the trespass order I'm sure they're about to give her.
So we reviewed the video. I mean, what you did in there was completely uncalled for.
Okay.
Throwing stuff around. That's not normal.
How can I get back into my room?
Okay, well, first off, we're going to talk to you for a minute.
Okay.
All right.
Should I talk to him? Give him some
You can talk to all three of us.
Okay. Who's the highest rank? I think
We're all the same. My lieutenant's pulling up right now.
I like lieutenants.
Yeah, when he gets over here, we'll talk to you, okay?
I mean, he's a lieutenant. He's cool. But you're tall. I'm afraid of tall people.
That's fine.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. This is the problem here. My stupid boyfriend comes in here because my doctor. I'm trying to plan a wedding.
Whose wedding are you planning?
My own!
Your own?
I'm a runaway bride.
Okay. She said she had a husband, and just now she said her boyfriend dropped her off, and now she's planning her own wedding, and she's a runaway bride. Yeah, I'm going with there's mental illness here. That it is not being managed properly. Whether that is because of her or that is because mental health care is absolutely atrocious and in some places next to impossible to get. We don't know. I am glad that they are censoring the personal details because she's probably saying, I would think she's telling them like some mental health kind of stuff, or at least like personal health information.
When she calls me upside down, it hurts my feelings.
You want to go talk to somebody?
I just want to go. I'm afraid to leave here right now.
Yeah.
I'm very afraid because I don't want to go because he told me to stay put. And when he called me, he told me.
Yeah. Well, so right now the way you're acting, like there's clearly something going on. So we want to make sure that you
Did I just get
you get
key
help.
to my room?
Well, unfortunately, they don't want you back in the hotel acting like
Oh,
this.
okay. Hi.
We're gonna get this water and check her out.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, you know Danny? He's a cop. He's like my great uncle. I'm in law enforcement.
What's your first? Oh, just one run.
Susan. S-U-S-A-N.
Who's Susan? Susan, do you want to go to the hospital?
I was just there.
No, I don't. But do you want to go to?
Oh.
No, I have you here.
Well, you can't stay here.
Oh, okay.
Okay, she's got a hospital bracelet still on. I was wondering if she was wearing scrub pants. Because they kind of look like scrub pants, and sometimes they'll give those to people at the hospital. Either people that don't have clothes, or sometimes they don't have a change of clothes, and so they'll give them like scrub pants or something to wear home. Or if your own clothes are like, damaged or destroyed, or in some cases, like if the police need them for evidence or something, you need something to wear home. But yeah, I'm gonna say she was recently at least evaluated for psychiatric reasons. Not that I'm putting that against her, and she's right. You shouldn't call people psycho or crazy. Uh, those terms get overused. And again, still very curious to see, oh, excuse me, how they're going to resolve this, because I'm getting the impression she has nowhere else to go. Whether her boyfriend or husband or whoever actually did like drop her off here and say like, stay here, I'll come back for you, as she seemed to be saying, but she's also saying a lot of things. Like now she is getting a little bit erratic. She's changing topics very, very quickly. But I've also seen people who are just ADHD and miss their meds for a day, or sometimes, as with all medications, especially with like ADHD, after they've been on the same med for about 4 or 5 years, it stops working. A friend of mine has a child with ADHD, and as he's been growing up, I think 3 times now they've hit points where a medication that was working very well for him, because he's now getting bigger and he's been on it for a long time, it stops working, and they have to transition him to a new medicine, which always comes with a few rough days. So my friend says it's a good reminder of why she keeps him on meds, because some parents feel guilty about medicating their children, but in his case, it's absolutely a question of safety, because he becomes so hyper and unable to focus that he will wander into traffic because he's not aware of like where his body is, because his little brain is going so fast. So it can be a good thing, but yeah, I've seen hyperactive people, not just children but adults without their meds, act like this because they're jumping from one subject to another every 2 seconds, can't focus on anything. They're walking all over the place, got the zoomies, like they've had like 5 shots of espresso.
Let's just sit on the bench and wait.
No.
Yeah, well, we can't do that.
Okay. Try to take my computer. How do I know my room is
Hey,
safe?
Lisa, we're trying to, or Susan.
I don't feel safe here.
Okay, well,
It's not a safe
Hey,
place.
Susan, Susan, come here.
you're gonna.
I'm just gonna keep
No,
walking.
Susan,
No.
Susan, come here. No, Susan. Stop.
Did you touch me?
You need to stop.
Oh, Julie, Bill.
No.
Can you call Julie?
All right.
Oh,
Okay,
Get
now-
out of here. Stop. All right.
Okay.
Stop. Just.
Okay, I'm not sure what they're arresting her for. Like, I get that they think she needs to be evaluated and she's possibly a danger to herself in this state. I'm not denying that. But he shouldn't have come up behind her and grabbed her like that. Like, honestly, this is where police need better training for mental health. Because with her saying, I don't feel safe and things like that, that is speaking to PTSD or a trauma history of some kind. And when you walk up and grab somebody, especially when they can't see you coming, that has those disorders, they're going to go ape shit on you. That's just a fact. And honestly, like, they should have handled this differently. They should have handled this better, because as soon as you come up and start all like ganging up on her and putting your hands on her, I'm willing to bet she's going to go insane.
Susan.
Okay, I'm going to talk to the blue cop guy.
The blue cop.
You have blue eyes. Okay, I can't look. I'm embarrassed. My cop boyfriend told me to stay here and not get in trouble. And here I am goofing around, and I got locked out of my room. I don't think I'm going to give them a good review.
Cursory pad with cameras on, please.
Oh, can we,
We'll put her in the back of the squad. You can elect to go to the squad, to the hospital, get an evaluation, or you
I'm
get
just going to
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can you like not lose my? Can you?
I got it. I'm not gonna lose it. I'm not gonna lose it.
I'm also never okay with police basically saying either we can take you to the hospital to be evaluated or we're taking you to jail. For what? Like, I'm sorry, that is coercion, and it is forcing someone to go to a hospital and be evaluated. Not saying she doesn't need it, but unless you can very much prove that she's a danger to herself or others, which even though she may be, they have no proof of it, you should not be coercing someone into doing that. And you certainly should not be threatening to put them in jail to force them to go to a hospital. She still has the right to determine whether she wants that supposed help or not. And let's face it, being psych evaled at a hospital or even held for 3 days doesn't do anyone any good. It is a useless system because at best you are going to stabilize someone for maybe half the time they are there by the time meds kick in, etc. And also that involves forcing people often to take medication against their will, which I'm never a fan of. She's a grown adult. She can make her own choice. You don't have to agree with it or like it. But when you start forcibly medicating people, you've crossed some serious lines that are wrong. And hospitals don't have long term treatment. Mental health needs long term, multi year, expert, complicated treatment. And that's what's not available. Because all a hospital's going to do is shove pills down somebody's throat until they're docile. And doesn't matter if it's even the right medication, as long as the person's quiet enough that they can go, oh, look, we fixed them. And then they throw them out with no support, not even a prescription for the meds. Not that most people can afford them. Like, do we think this lady has like excellent health coverage? Because most health coverage these days, most insurance will not cover psych anything. They will not cover meds. They will sure as hell not cover therapy, which is what's needed, or seeing a psychiatrist, because those are expensive. So they just blanket refuse to pay for it. It's like how in America they won't pay for maternity leave, which makes no sense, but it's because A, it's expensive, and B, the world is run by men. And so when it comes to women's issues, they go, oh, we don't have to pay for that. Do you know there are actually countries in the world that have menstrual leave? You can take a couple days a month off because you're having that time of the month and it sucks, and you need a couple days off. But paid maternity leave, well, not a lot of places. Actually, America's the only first world country. It's one of like 2 countries in the entire world that doesn't have some form of it. It's utterly absurd. But back to my original point before I went off on a thing. If you're not used to that by now, what are you doing here? But they shouldn't be forcing her to go to the hospital without proof that she's a danger. Right now, I get that she's a nuisance. She's annoying. The hotel wants her gone. That's all fine. But that's where you tell her to leave. You tell her you are being trespassed from this property, leave the property, and don't come back. And here's how you arrange to get your things, or we will get you your things. But she was walking away. Like, I get well, I didn't actually hear them say she was being detained, so until they do, they actually have no right to stop her. But, like, saying, either go to the hospital or go to jail, that's completely out of line, and honestly, they should not be allowed to do that. It's not the first time I've heard it, but they absolutely should not be allowed to do that, because I do believe that that is violating her rights.
I already talked to the hotel, and they said your stuff is okay here.
I don't think it is, because if I'm able to,
Well, I'll tell you what we'll do.
Did you run that?
Okay, I don't believe that officer for a second, because I'm sorry, no hotel is going to take responsibility for somebody's stuff, and they're sure as hell not going to let their stuff take up one of their hotel rooms that they need to rent. So no, her stuff is not okay, and that's either a bold-faced lie, most likely, or, or the hotel did actually say that, but, in 12 hours, they're going to throw out her things.
Corey. Did you have that sheet? Hey,
honey, why
I'm gonna put this in her room. Can I have a key?
What's gonna happen?
Well, ultimately, she's either going to go to or she's going to go to the homeless shelter.
So,
Or hospital norm. Her property can be gathered and held. Yeah, I mean, so if you want to start that process now, you just give it to her.
Okay, so yeah, that cop was lying his ass off because the front desk person is like, okay, what do we do with her stuff? And so they're saying, yeah, they're going to gather her stuff. They're going to take her to a homeless shelter. It sounds like is the boyfriend fictional? I don't know. It looked like for a second she was on the phone with him. She was talking to somebody. But yeah, of course the hotel is not going to keep her stuff. Duh.
Her, then gather her front stuff to you.
okay.
All right, so we're going to, one way or the other, we're facilitate her being taken out of here.
All right.
She does have to come back and get her. So,
Can someone else come back? Because we don't want her here.
Yeah, I
She's
mean-
dangerous, really.
I mean, I tell you what, let's just count on it. We'll come with her when she comes get her stuff.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah.
Fair enough. All right. That's it, Dad?
Yep, thanks, guys.
All right,
There
go
you
to the room out, bag out with her name on it, please.
Yeah.
All right, thank you much.
All right. Did we call the squad already? Oh, yeah.
How you guys doing?
Okay, I wish this was not going by at warp speed. I want to know what they're
She's like,
saying.
who's the highest ranking officer here? I'm like, well, we're all the same, but our lieutenant just pulled up. She's like, oh,
That's about it.
I like lieutenants. I'm like, everybody does. Now, if the sergeant pulls up, you don't want to talk to him.
No, exactly.
Sergeant means bad.
Yeah,
They're
one
coming.
of three things are happening. You want to shut that?
Okay, can I just, I'd like to go to
We're aware of that. We're going to help you out the best.
is my primary care.
Hi, Susan.
Are you my ride?
We're EMS. Can we come talk to you?
I'd love that.
Yeah, they're here to help you, okay?
So what's going on?
So, yeah, make sure there's no pocket knives and stuff.
I got locked out of my business. Okay. I was told this was a date by my top friend, my husband. Guess what I'm doing? I'm trying to. If I fall, guess what? You're gonna pick me up.
I'm not going there, but I don't want to.
Did you pat her down already or look in pockets?
I don't really like to pet.
I know, but I want to make sure you don't have anything in your pockets.
Got it.
Like pocket
God,
knives
no,
or
I
crack
don't like
pipes.
to-
All right.
No.
Okay.
Those things kill you.
They do,
Guess
exactly.
what? Glass.
I agree. Is there anything in this front box right here?
Here.
No?
No.
Okay. Just
Okay,
glasses.
Don't break my glasses.
We're not going to break your glasses.
Okay.
How about these on your head?
Oh, yeah. Oh, here, how about on my eyes?
There you go. Is that
God,
good?
you're young.
I am very young.
Okay, I really want to know why all the insignia is being blurred. Like their patches are being blurred, the side of the police car, now the ambulance. Like, what the hell?
We'll follow you guys. Yeah, that's where she wants to go.
The woman was later cited for disorderly conduct.
No, of course.
Officers then contacted the woman's daughter to pick her up.
Okay, looks like that's all we get. I wish we had more. I really wish we had a better outcome, but at least they had somebody to release her to. So hopefully she had a safe place to go and was able to get her things. That's one of those weird ones where there's not a lot of right answers. You know, I'm glad she didn't go to jail, but she does strike me as somebody that needs help. What kind of help? I'm not sure. On the whole, I'm giving the police. I'm giving them a B plus because they handled that fairly well. I didn't see anybody shouting, which is good. I didn't see excessive force, which is also good. But there are moments where they could have done better and lacked some understanding of how best to approach certain people. I'll say that much. But those are my thoughts. What are yours? If you're new here, please like, comment, and subscribe. As for the title, calling her a Karen, no, she's not a Karen at all. No, she's somebody who's disturbed in some way and needs help, but she's not a Karen. So, title gets a C. Until the next one, I've been Insane Lane as well as the Canadian Girl. Love on yourself and love a fur baby. Bye bye.